I'm your host, Barry Waxler. We are back. We have our next guest with us. Quite an interesting company, Mr. Joshua Rosenthal from Shirts Unlimited. Welcome, Josh.
Hi, Barry. Thanks for having us.
Great. So tell us what Shirts Unlimited is. What do you do and how do you do it?
Okay, at Shirts Unlimited, we are a vertical manufacturing, which basically means we have control from A to Z. We specialize in polo shirts, dress shirts, and T-shirts. We embroidery in-house and silkscreen in-house, but we are much more than that because basically we like to take the headache away from local restaurants and local businesses of finding their uniform supplier, have somebody who's going to provide great service with premium quality products.
Interesting. Well, one of the things that you made mention of, and I want to focus on this a little bit, is you called your firm a vertical manufacturer. Okay, what do you mean by a vertical manufacturer?
Okay, we buy the yarn, we dye the yarn, we make the cloth, we embroider. So we basically have control from start to finish.
So you're not going over to China and buying all the product and bringing it here. You make it yourself right here in San Diego.
We make aprons in San Diego, and we make our polo shirts in Mexico City.
Okay.
My grandfather started the factory after 10 years with the store, which was very successful, and he was able to turn that into a factory. And my father came out here in 1994 and started selling to different companies in San Diego. We were able to grow with different companies like Rubio's, Cold Stone, Pickup Sticks. OG's is our customer now. So we've been able to work well with San Diego companies and use them for growth.
Yeah, I see. You're also working with some material that's more current as well, all the dry fit. You know, we use that when we go down to the gym and work out. Now you're putting it into a lot of polo shirts and daily shirts.
Correct. It became very popular. It's called the Moisture Wick.
Now, what does that mean? I'm not familiar with. I don't do spin class every day like you do, Barry. Talk to those of us who don't know what this is.
It's a shirt, 100% polyester, and has a Moisture Wick product. So basically, it's very cool on the skin.
Okay.
It has a different look than the traditional polo shirt. It's very popular for sports bars, very popular for hotels. It has a nicer cut to your body than a regular polo shirt. And we actually have a women's style cut, which is different for most people because we make sure that this is a material made for a woman's body, so it curves out at the edges.
So it's not just like wearing a big box
Exactly.
like the old polo shirts styles used to be.
Exactly. We're not just changing the buttons to make them smaller and calling it a women's shirt. We are actually cutting it for a woman, and we change the buttons tend to go a little lower and also are closer knit together.
Okay.
And one of our big differences between our products and others is since we are a vertical factory and control from A to Z, we're able to do the cuffs and the color the same as a shirt, which most people tend to dye that after they dye the material for the actual shirt.
Okay.
So it's a really premium quality.
So that's why when I've had other polo shirts in the past where the collar faded differently than the shirt, it's because they weren't done at the same time?
Yeah, it was probably not even the same color. I mean, to the naked eye, it seems like the same color, but when you wash it one time, it's going to come out differently. And,
right.
Our polos tend to last for more than 25 washes, when most other polo shirts, after 10 washes, the color is faded.
So that's really important if somebody like Luna Grill has 150 people, and that's a lot of shirts that they've, that they have to keep in inventory, and that's money.
Correct.
To the business owners.
Yeah. Well, I found it interesting before we went on air. Most of the time you see a clothing company or a shirt company. You go on the web, what have you. I look at somebody that goes out and buys a whole ton of product from somebody else and just embroiders and sells it off. And you manufacture everything in house. I think that's great. And the capacity, your capacity is like
120,000 pieces a month.
Wow.
And I think that as you guys have been here for 25 years, you've been through the ups and downs of the economy here in San Diego, and you've specifically chosen, evidently, to not downgrade your quality, just because the economy's taken a downturn. You've made a commitment to maintain it.
We have, and we've been lucky to survive the ups and downs, and the reason for that is because since we're the manufacturer, we're able to produce a product that if a restaurant or a business wants it to look classy, for lack of a better word, our product is going to last.
Yeah.
And you can wear our product for 2 years. You can't wear a cheap shirt for 2 years, and that's a big difference.
So you really focus on premium quality, at affordable prices.
Correct.
Good way to say it?
Yeah. Premium quality, fair prices, and outstanding service. So.
Yeah.
Now, are your shirts basically on an order basis, or are they available in retail locations?
No, it's basically on an order basis, but we also do small quantities. So just because we have the capacity to make a lot of garments, we can take orders of 10 polo shirts and embroider them yourself. We don't close our doors, and we don't want to do that because you never know which client that might have 10 employees, 6 months from now is going to open up. I mean, you guys had Luna Grill. They're expanding, so
you never know.
You never know.
I mean, and San Diego is known to have, small startups, explode over time and become, huge employers. So is 10 the minimum then, the minimum run? Or is there no minimum run?
There is no minimum. That's bottom line is we have the warehouse, we have the machines. There is no minimum.
That's great.
Yeah, that's exciting to grow with your customers.
Mm-hmm.
What a concept!
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. You're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business here on KFSD AM 1450 and financialnewsandtalk.com. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with my co-host Andrea Kay and Urban Miaris, and our guest is Mr. Joshua Rosenthal from Shirts Unlimited. So your is this third generation business?
Third generation. Yeah.
Third generation. That's great.
I love that.
How many businesses? What Urban? You probably know this. Most businesses fail within the first 2 years. We're in our third generation here.
Well, they close their doors for one reason or another, and seldom do they go past the third generation. But to see a third generation growing is unusual. I always say, the first generation works hard to make the money. Second generation grows the business, and the third generation spends it.
Yeah.
And
is that what you're doing,
that's
Joshua?
definitely not the plan.
Yeah, I know, and it's great. And we've had a few, the winery company and others that have in generations way past third generation, and it's great. It truly is exciting. What a legacy.
Yeah. Now, you haven't been with the company your whole professional career, though, have you?
I have not. I started with the company about a year ago, and really what I came there to do is to grow on e-commerce. It's something we've never touched. All our customers are referral based and trade show based. So we're trying to hit the e-commerce. I've actually had campaigns with with 2 local companies. So one is WebStation One. They're doing all our e-commerce, and with a lot of people in the industry with online marketing. So
being vertical is critical. I don't know if our listeners really understand how competitive and short the profit margins are in the apparel industry. It originally started as a cottage industry on the East Coast, where people in their home were knitting and making items, and still a lot of manufacturing is done on the East Coast. But to do it on the West Coast and all, it's great. Most of your other competitors are buying the shirts overseas and lose control, and you're cutting out all those middle people and people are making profit. It's great.
And that's why we're able to give, for the premium quality, cheaper prices when you compare apples with apples. And we were able to, during the down years of our economy, which I like to think are past us, we were able to survive because we weren't shipping stuff from overseas.
And so now through e-commerce, bring in the new generation, because your dad and your grandfather, they're probably like, "What the heck is e-commerce? What does that mean?" Right? So you're bringing the youth in terms of technology, right, to the company.
Correct. New blood, as we call it in our company.
Fresh blood.
Fresh blood.
So now you're going to take on the world through internet sales, right?
Internet sales, it's a different business, to be honest, selling through internet than business to business. And we have to do both to keep growing. To keep growing, and it's not easy. but there's a lot of clients, and San Diego is a great place to knock on doors because there's constantly companies growing.
Yeah.
And they really do like buying local.
Mm-hmm.
And we like servicing local. We have discounts for local companies that we don't have for out of San Diego companies. So we work together.
It's like going to Disneyland. You get in cheaper if you're a California
I know.
resident.
I love that. I love that. So, and you do the embroidery in-house as
Correct.
well? Because you're wearing a really nicely embroidered shirt right now.
Yeah, we do the embroidery in-house for all of our polo shirts, dress shirts, and hats as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a silkscreen in-house as well.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't get into the hats before, so hats, shirts, embroidery, that's great. So we're starting to run short on time. Let's tell our listeners, how do they find you?
Best way to find us is to go to shirtsunlimited.com, and you'll find all our information there. We have an 800 number, which is 800-291-6016,
Mm-hmm.
and mention you guys heard us on the show and get your discounts.
Sounds good. Well, we're going to have to get some close-up on San Diego business shirts and wear them into the radio show.
Oh, that's a great idea. Loving that idea.
So.
We'll get your face on the back of one of the shirts.
You're going to get my face on. Hey, I have the face for radio, okay? So.
We'll get Stephanie's face on our shirts.
There you go.
Right, Steph? All right.
I'll second that.
Okay,
so you, anything you want to leave our listeners with? Any special projects coming up for Shirts Unloaded?
No, we're just going to launch our website on Friday. We're completely redone. And
it's a gorgeous website, by the way. I've visited it.
Thank you. I put in a lot of work with WebStation 1, and I thank them. And, we have lots of friends in this industry that have helped us, so we appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, good luck to you. We're going to stay in touch with you.
Well, you're one of our guests. Actually, today, everybody is kind of open for everybody. Everybody wants to go to a restaurant. Everybody needs shirts. Everybody needs home loans.
Yep.
We're in today.
Loving it.
Something for everybody.
That's
today.
right.
So, well, great, Josh. Thanks for being with us. And we will look forward to following up. You're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business, where we get up close and personal with homegrown San Diego businesses and the people that are working hard to make a difference in our community. This is financialnewsandtalk.com. I'm your host, Barry Waxler. We'll be right back after the break with more Homegrown Business Close Up, and we will have with us Miss Wasal Cotter from Veterans United.